Welcome to Challenge Forex. My name is Steve. Join me now as I go through this week's setups. This is based on my forecast for the week commencing the 12th of July 2024. And we did have a total of 18 setups for the week. And most of these trades did not actually pay out at all, but we did have one win and two losses. And let's have a look at the actual chart now, and I will show you exactly what I mean by no trades for the majority of these 18. First of all, we have our Aussie Canadian. This was our first losing trade for the week, and the entry rules are quite simple on this one. We had a flip zone here where we'd gone through a previous support level, and we were looking for this one to come back to the zone and close with a red candle below the zone, at which point we would enter a short. And so we can see here, the entry would have been at the end of this candle, which was Wednesday, but then immediately after we entered, we went slightly into profit, and then by close of business on Wednesday, we were in drawdown. So that was Wednesday. We have the green candle was Thursday. We were in drawdown by the close of business, and then Friday it took out our stop loss, which would have been above this swing high. Our next losing trade was the Aussie Swiss, and we have here let's see, similar to the Aussie Canadian, we had a touch in this area that we were hoping for this one to come into the zone and close with a red candle and then take it short. The entry would have been at the end of Wednesday's candle, so Thursday morning would have been the entry time, and it pretty much went straight against us and hit our stop loss immediately. So that was a 1% loss. So that's two losing trades with 1% loss. The one that prediction did work out the way we were expecting was the Aussie New Zealand, and if you had have taken this one long, the entry point would have been around this level here, so at the end of this green candle, and normally this is a bit of a higher stop loss than I would like. It would have been around 150 pips for that one, which means that to get a one-to-one trade, we would be looking at basically these highs here. It hasn't actually reached that one yet, so we would actually be currently still in the trade and up about 21 pips at the moment, hoping for this one to continue up. With the other trades that didn't actually pay out throughout the week, I will go through the chart quickly and just explain to you why they were no trade, and they basically didn't meet our rules. So let's go. First one we have is the Canadian Swiss. Our goal was to go into the red zone, close below the red zone with a red candle, and then enter short. We did actually go into the zone on Thursday this week and closed inside the zone on Friday. It did weaken below, but then pulled back again, so we haven't actually had a close below this zone yet, so we didn't actually get an entry on this one at this stage. The next one that was a no trade was the Euro Aussie. We were looking for this one to pull back into this area and then take short, but after this news candle beginning of last week, it didn't actually come back into this zone again, so we didn't get an entry on that one at all. The Euro Canadian, and this one was similar. We were hoping for this one to pull back into the zone and close below with a red candle, but this one actually shot straight through our zone and then pulled back again to it looks like a flip again, so this should have been changed to green, but this looks like it would have been an entry for a long trade on this one. So if we had have taken this trade during the week, we would have changed these lines here to green. And let's do that now. So this would have been our green zone. Here we would have actually entered long. The stop loss would be about 110 pips. And yeah, this was actually, Friday, so close of business Friday, this one. So at the moment, we wouldn't have entered this trade anyway. We probably would have entered this one maybe on Monday morning next week, depending on how the start of the week looks. Euro Swiss, we were looking for this one to go into the zone and then close below with a red candle. It actually went straight through, and this is going to cause this one to be a flip zone as well. This will now be a green zone, which represents support level, and next week we'll be looking for this one to come back, and we'll take that one long if it goes into this zone and then returns again with a green candle. Euro pound, another one with no trade. We were looking for this one to come into the zone and then take a short on the first red candle, but didn't actually come into this area, so we didn't get a trade at all, no setup. And similar with the euro dollar, we were waiting for this one to come into the zone and then take the first red candle short. This one was no setup again. Pound Aussie, and similar setup again. We were waiting for this one to come into the zone and close below with a red candle. It kind of did happen. We did have a touch here of our zone on Thursday, and first red candle though we had closed on Friday. So this is actually the weekend here, the end of the week. So we wouldn't have got into this trade yet. However, looking at Monday next week for a possible setup, if this one starts to go our way, we would probably take that one short on Monday. Pound Canadian, this one actually went straight through our zone, came back and retested and then closed above the zone. So if I was trading this one, I would have actually taken this one long, even though we did have it marked as a short. The entry would have been on the start of business Friday morning this week. Stop loss, it's a big stop loss, 230 pips. I would have actually set the stop loss just below the zone instead of below the swing low. So I would have had here, let's see, about 85 pip stop loss, and currently it would be up about around 60 pips at this point, and we'd be still in the trade. Pound Swiss, looking at this one to come into the zone and close below. We didn't actually get a setup on this one. We got a close in the zone, but no red candle below the zone. So at the moment, no trade. However, this could actually turn into a setup for the coming week if we get a big red candle closing below the red zone. Pound Yen, we were looking for this one to come into the green zone and take long, but this one just shot up straight away and didn't come back to test the zone at all. Pound Dollar is the same sort of setup as the previous one. We were looking for this one to come into the zone and bounce, take it long, but it actually went straight away from earlier in the week or from last week. It kept going. Next one is the Pound Swiss, and just checking our days, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So Monday actually closed above the red zone, and if it was actually a red candle close it below, we would have actually taken this one short. But because it actually closed above the zone, there was no actual setup there. Realistically, we could have actually taken a long trade at this point with the stop loss below the swing low, which would have been, or below the zone, around about 50 pips stop loss, and we would be currently up about 21 pips in profit at this stage. US Canadian didn't pull back into our zone to take short at all, and so looking at this one, we were hoping for this to pull back into the zone and then take a red candle short, but this one just continued to go short straight away with no chance for an entry based on our rules. And the US Swiss, we have a setup, well, this was actually a setup from the previous week. It did actually come and bounce, and if we had have taken that one last week, we would be slightly in profit at this stage, but it didn't really move much. We didn't actually have a pullback though this week, so looking at the candles, we've got Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So this green candle was Monday, and we were hoping for a pullback sometime this week and then a green candle to take long. And gold was our last one that didn't set up at all. We were looking for this one to come up into the zone, and we kind of got this part right. It did actually pull back into the zone, but then it went straight through and pulled back to give us a green candle which closed above the zone. This would actually be a zone flip. We'd be looking at taking a long at the end of this candle, but this was actually Friday. So the entry point for this trade would actually be on Monday morning next week coming. So that's it for this week. And just to summarize again the result, we only had one trade that was in a positive, and we had two losing trades, so we would have been slightly in a loss for this week. But join me for my next forecast over this weekend, and let's have a look at the setups for the coming week.